Okay, family, friends, pop culture enthusiasts, siblings, colleagues, co-workers, and dogs, welcome to the Top 5 Podcast. I am your main host, Chris McPeak, and I have the absolute luxury today of hanging out with my favorite co-host, who also happens to be my sibling, my sister, Annie Pruitt. What's up, Annie Pruitt?
Hello, lovely lady. What are you doing?
I am recording this great show with you, but I am also looking at our ratings and reviews because guess what? People leave them for us.
Okay.
So I thought it would be great to just share one tonight.
I love it. Okay, let's do it.
So this is from the Beauty Call podcast. And it's an older review. It's back from July, but she calls our show fun and fantastic. Love this podcast. It is fun and entertaining. Just what I need in a weekly podcast. Cannot recommend it enough. 5 stars, 3 hearts. So, hey, Beauty Call podcast woman out there, thank you for that delightful rating and review. We so very greatly appreciate it. And all you fine listeners, if you have been paying attention for a while, you've caught from time to time the adorable B-roll at the end of the outro featuring the Pruitt children of David and Emily asking you so kindly to leave a rating and review or threatening your lunch money, things like that, because Annie's kids are just so clever. But yeah, so if you got a hankering and you're holding your app in your hand right now, we would love to get that 5-star rating and a review from you. Shoot, you can leave us a 1-star rating and review if you want, because that is how Annie and I and the other co-hosts will continue to grow this fine show that we have come to love and adore.
We'll take feedback in any way, shape, or form.
Any way, shape, or form. Just give it to us.
Absolutely.
Give it to me, baby. And all the, okay, yeah. That's not what we're talking about today. Andy, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about, it's kind of a sequel to Tearjerkers, but this time it is Tearjerkers I will never, ever, ever, ever watch again. Cannot watch these movies because I cried so hard. Or I was so mad crying. There was an anger cry, not a love cry, that I can't watch it again.
It was a combination of the tragedy of what made the cry was so powerful that it something inside me died.
Yeah.
In that case. But then there's also the notion that that somehow I was not mentally or emotionally prepared for a particular movie to go down that road. And again, I guess all of my choices would have that, but 2 in particular, I felt so manipulated and that made me angry as opposed to just being sad. So Anyway, I think the last show you started us off, so I will get us rolling today.
All right, please. Yes.
My number 5 is from 1998, the Holocaust drama featuring the Best Actor winner and Best International Film Oscar winner, Life is Beautiful, with Roberto Benigni. And oh, holy crap. Where do I start? Other than to say, what else do I need to say other than it's about the Holocaust? In spite of the title being Life is Beautiful, they're just, I could not leave that space feeling like there was hope. And it not just the relationship between the father and the son and the 2 of them being in this camp, but just knowing what is also happening around the world at the time that this movie is taking place, and the small story that it's telling within the much bigger story that is the Holocaust. And it was a terrible, awful stain on humanity. And so, I just Roberto Benigni is an amazing actor, and there are some happy, uplifting moments, but I shall never engage in viewing that little piece of celluloid ever again. So there you have it.
That's on my list. I haven't seen it yet. I just remember when he won his Academy Award, how it was. But yeah, that's on my list. I have not seen that one yet. So I just know that it'll be a one and done because I won't be able to watch it a second time.
I agree. All righty. That's my number 5.
So I used to think that I could watch this movie over and over again, but I actually haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater. So 93, Untamed Heart, Christian Slater and Marissa Tomei.
Really?
At the end of the movie, I was crying so hard that I had to go to the ladies' room in the movie theater, and I almost threw up. I was crying so hard.
Wow.
I don't know, maybe it was just like the relationship that I was in at the time, but just this, yeah, I can't do it again. I can't watch it again because of how sad. Because at the end of it, I don't feel inspired. I don't feel anything but absolute like pain in my heart, and I can't do it again. So I'm not going to say anything else about it other than Christian Slater ripped my heart out for Untamed Heart, and it is just absolutely brutal.
Woof.
But it's so good. It's brutally good, but it's like kind of like, you watch it once, but just know that you're going to feel it for a while.
I am wondering now if I subconsciously / unconsciously never did see that movie because somewhere along the way I knew that you had a bad experience because I've not seen it.
Yeah.
And it came out at a time where you and I were seeing a lot of movies together. So the very fact that you went to something without me that wound up being so impactful in your world is quite interesting. But regardless, okay. Untamed Heart is we shall not watch again.
Yes.
Okay. My number 4 is from 1987. I do believe it is Christian Bale's film debut, the Steven Spielberg Empire of the Sun. And how did I go from World War II movie to World War II movie? But nonetheless, this is a story of a boy and his family who gets separated out in Japan. And the boy is in some kind of prisoner of war camp with older fellas. But I didn't finish the movie because the part where he becomes separated from his parents just was too much for me. I could not bear to hear the sound of a child screaming for his family, even if it was Christian Bale. And even if the fact that Christian Bale is one of my favorite actors of all time, ever, I just, it wrecked me to my core. So I no longer care how it ends. I just don't need to hear him crying for his mom ever again. So enough. Yeah.
Too. I haven't seen that yet either. So now I know I'm just going to have a really, next time, I'm going to have a really bad weekend.
Or maybe just don't match those two together if you feel like you have to have the experience.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, my number 4, I want to say it's shown up on one of our podcasts before, but is the 2018 A Star is Born.
Oh, man. Yes, we did just talk about this in the remake.
Such a fantastic remake, but I can't watch it again because I love Bradley Cooper's character, and I just keep watching his absolute destruction. It is so painful. Like, it is physically painful to watch.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not gonna ruin the ending, but it's so gut-wrenchingly sad that I will never be able to watch it again. I can watch like the first half an hour, and I can watch the parking lot scene, and I can watch her coming on stage for the very first time. Yeah. But after that, like the second their relationship takes off and her success starts to go and his decline, continues, I just can't keep going down that road with them.
Yeah. And that was a movie I honestly thought I would own and that I would continue watching on and on. But I get to that point where I think like, okay, wait a minute. I'm about to press play on this. Yeah. And I'm going to have a really bad night if I do. So if I need a taste, I'm just going to go Google Shallow on YouTube
Yeah.
and just watch that a couple times.
That's all.
And then I'll be fine. I'll have my little taste, and yeah, we'll move on.
That's all.
It's so incredible the way, because talking about actors playing characters, and that it's a really dynamic, powerhouse performance when you go past seeing the actor that's in that role and you just see the person, and you've now come to identify something with that person. I get heavily emotionally involved in television a lot with a lot of television shows, but in the movies, this was a movie where, and I can't remember his character's name now, but Allie and
Bradley Cooper's character.
Yeah, what the hell was his name?
I don't know. Let me GTS.
It's making me a little crazy. Regardless, but I was seeing the two of them and living their love affair out right in front of my face. It's like they were my friends or my roommates or whatever you want to call it. And just woof.
Yeah, he plays
Jackson. Right.
Yeah.
Allie and Jack. Oh my Lord. Okay. So that was your number 4, correct?
Yeah, that was my number 4.
My number 3 is along the realm of I feel so manipulated, I'm really angry right now. And it is the 1998 What Dreams May Come, which, if memory serves, had to do with a Robin Williams husband who lost his Annabella what is her name? From The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, lost his wife. Mm-hmm. And gets taken on a tour by an angel that I think is Cuba Gooding Jr. But it's just so that the descent into his sadness. And while it is a visually stunning movie to look at, I felt like I was not ready to go down that road, and it just kicked the shit out of me. And I felt depleted, but I also felt very angry because I felt manipulated.
Yeah.
And you can go back and read the reviews of this film. And I think a lot of reviewers felt the same way. It wasn't really the kind of emotional experience that you wanted to have from a movie. I guess in the way that, people view, and I don't know if these are on your list coming up, but, another Holocaust film, Schindler's List, people talk about how powerful that movie is and they don't need to watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That was my number 3. What Dreams May Come.
All right. That's funny. Is my number 3 as well. So
is it really? Oh, crazy.
I got like completely sentimental about our mother after that movie for some reason.
Sure.
And I was angry, and it was another one of those breakdown type of like, I can't experience this ever again. So it was Anna Fiora. Am I saying that right? Yeah. Yeah, but Robin Williams, he's already so good at like ripping your heart out of your chest, and he's really in it in like powerful and lovely ways. But this one, he just like ripped it out and like stepped on it. So yeah, I was so heartbroken, and not in a good way. And I will never ever watch that movie again. It made me cry, and like, I was in the dumps for like 4 days afterwards. I couldn't even function for like 4 days after I watched that movie.
Yeah. So, everything after that movie for a while was a blur. And I think I remember who I went to see it with, but all that resonates is pretty colors and just a lot of crying.
Yes. That's pretty much it.
Yep. All righty. So that's, we had one in common in the previous episode, and we have one in common so far in this episode. Okay. My number 2 is a Pixar film from 2009, Up. Again, a situation where I was not anticipating being this sad so soon. There's like no dialogue in the first 9 minutes of the movie or something like that, and it's just the meeting of these two people and their marriage and their life together, and then she's gone, and And eventually there's a funny dog that's a squirrel, and there's a beautiful relationship between the man and this little kid and this dog. But I could not get past, like, movie barely started and you're taking his wife away from him. And this is a fucking cartoon, for Christ's sake. Like, how can you do this? This is supposed to be a child's film, and every adult in the room is losing their mind because this is so gut-wrenching and terrible. So I'm like, Pixar, come on, give me a break. Because I was beside myself. I saw that movie with Bryce and Corey. I think I was visiting them in Fort Lauderdale, and I saw the movie with them. I don't recall if they echoed my sentiments, but I'm sure I drank a lot of tequila that night.
Well, I have seen it, and I remember enjoying it, but I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Oof. Well, no, you don't. You don't have to.
I don't. Maybe I don't. Okay.
Ooh, my Lord.
Okay. So my number 2 is the 1983 Terms of Endearment.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably on it's probably on most people's like top 5 tearjerkers, but I can't watch it again because when Shirley MacLaine has her breakdown and screams, "Give my daughter the shot," I can't. Like, I can't deal whatsoever. And then everything about what happens with Deborah Winger in that movie, I can't. I'm about to start crying. I can't watch it. It's a beautiful movie. Jack Nicholson is fantastic as always, but Shirley MacLaine like just gets the best cry and the best emotional like response that you don't want to have to a movie, because you feel everything she's feeling.
Yeah.
You feel that her daughter is feeling, and her daughter's husband, and just like everything that this family is going through. So yeah, I watched it once, cried like a baby. I think it deserved every accolade and award that it won, and I will never watch it again.
Yeah. That for me is a movie that harkens to the experience of losing our mother at a young age. And so that should have made my list. I didn't even think about it, probably because I have blocked out the notion of even that movie existing in my world, because I know the second that I put it on, I will. That is a movie that honestly, I recall the death of our mother when I think about that film. So yeah, it was that's an unconscious, like, no, that movie never existed. And it's just some little screen up on Netflix. It means nothing. Okay.
Yeah, plays a wacky character.
Oh my God. Figure. Jeff Daniels is in that movie. Doesn't he play her husband? Flap?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Boy, we need to do a top 5 Jeff Daniels roles show, because I have come to the realization that he is one of my favorite character actors, both as a leading man and as a supporting character, because he's done some really cool stuff over the years. Long time now.
Yeah.
So my honorable mention is not much of one. It's just the idea of anything where there's a dog in a movie poster. I will not watch, because inevitably it's going to die, or one of them is going to die, or so it just no.
Yep. Anything with a dog.
Anything with a dog.
I'm like, do I put Old Yeller on here? Too obvious, do I put where the red fern grows? Yeah, any of those I can't.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I can't give them. Yeah. I almost couldn't continue to watch, Game of Thrones after the first, Superwolf was killed.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So my honorable mention was actually on one of your rewatch was Steel Magnolias. I don't think I can watch that again. So, but at the time, so in 1989, so Julie Roberts, the whole premise is, she's a diabetic, and she wants to have knowing full risk that at the time it was like diabetics weren't supposed to have children.
Yeah.
And that was like, so now when I watch it, and I see I know what this character is going through, but I can't deal with that. And I can't deal with the funeral scene. Even they try to give it the comic relief with Weezer. again, Shirley MacLaine, just take my heart and rip it out. But Sally Field, boy, make you cry, because like, she did it with Force. But I can't watch it because I can't deal with this. I can't deal with that loss.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very real scenario for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. What's one?
All right. Number one, and I'm going to set the stage for this. So it is 1980, The Elephant Man, the second movie directed by David Lynch. So I am working at Webster University and I am taking classes with my RAs, my students. And Mark Stewart, who was the first floor Maria RA at the time, biggest David Lynch fan that I've ever met. And he says, I am enrolling in this 8-week class, Films of David Lynch. You should take it with me. It's going to be cool. I said, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. So week 1, we watch Eraserhead. We have a great conversation. I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this guy's dark and weird and freaky and all of the things. And then it's week 2, and we're going to talk about him getting picked to direct The Elephant Man, which I think is a stage show about a horribly disfigured man who's somewhat of a sideshow exhibit, but he meets a doctor who tries to help him feel a little bit more like a human. But the ending of this film is, he can't really lay down and sleep because parts of his body will stop working and he will die. And he finally decides, like, I can't do it anymore. And he takes his life just by laying down and going to sleep. Well, I'm in a class. I'm surrounded by students that are at least 5 to 10 years younger than me. And I'm having a complete and total emotional breakdown in this scenario. Did so badly that the professor has to come over and ask me if I'm okay. To which I respond, yes, I'm fine. I'm just, incredibly moved by this film. And then we're going to take a break and we're going to discuss the film. And I have not stopped crying. Okay. It's been like an hour. And now I'm going to walk home to my house, which is just, a block off the campus. And I'm still crying. And I don't go in the front door. I go in the back door, which Charles is not expecting. And I go in the house and I'm still sobbing, crying like a crazy person. He's ready to call the police because he thought I just got assaulted by somebody. And it's just, no, I just watched this movie that, has mentally and emotionally destroyed me. And yeah, what alcohol do we have? Because I need to drink now. It just really... It fucked me up bad, y'all. And when I think about when we talked about doing this episode, that was front and center for me immediately. I'm like, oh yeah, I already know what number 1 is. Like, I could do the show right now. Yeah, it's a toughie. It's a toughie, my friends.
All right. So my number 1 is going to fall in with the theme from the previous, but unrequited love in a way. But I watched this movie when I was a senior in high school, Splendor in the Grass from 1961.
Ah, yes. You have shared this with me before.
Yeah, I watched it by myself. And when it was over, I went upstairs to my bedroom and I was crying so hard that our dad thought that he needed to take me to the hospital. I couldn't breathe. I was crying so hard. So, of course, Natalie Wood, Warren Beatty, the first movie that ever featured a real French kiss, but, they're high school sweethearts and they are so in love. But the Warren Beatty is full of hormones and, he needs to have sex, but he can't have sex with her, even though, she wants to. And just kind of this ridiculousness of, the pressures that society put on certain aspects of being a teenager, I suppose, but
totally.
how they're in separate ways, and neither one of them, find true happiness. They find, what they consider to be contentment, but at the end of the day, they're still completely madly in love with each other, but they're so set in the way that they know they can never have that. They've just settled into, my life will always be miserable. I don't know if I could say it any other way, but like, I had such a hard reaction to it. Maybe it was because of my teenage hormones at the time. I don't want to watch it again, but that one got me in the gut bad. Yeah. So 1961, Splendor in the Grass.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Let's recap. I will go first. For tearjerkers that I will never, ever watch again, my honorable mention is just anything that features a pet, a lovely, huggable, snuggable mammal that's furry. And number 5, Life is Beautiful. Number 4, Empire of the Sun. What Dreams May Come at number 3, Up at number 2, and The Elephant Man at number 1. Hot dang. Okay. Now I do need to go have a drink.
I need a drink. My honorable mention was Steel Magnolias. Number 5, Untamed Heart. Number 4, the 2018 A Star is Born. And number 3, I share with you What Dreams May Come. Number 2, Terms of Endearment. And number 1, Splendor in the Grass. Great, fantastic movies that my heart cannot take a repeat of.
No, my heart will not go on. Speaking of, does that qualify as a tearjerker I will never watch again, or no?
It's a great movie. I just don't know where it belongs on our list.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so now the perfect counter to this episode would be to come up with the 5. It doesn't even have to be the full movie. 5 movie scenes or television scenes that you will incredibly laugh your ass off so hard that you will cry. Happy tears.
Oh yeah.
And have to pee. That would be a great show to do.
Okay.
And so
I laughed. Movies or scenes where I laughed so hard I cried. Okay.
Or felt like you had to pee, or had the heavy, like you're going to cough and hack in your office for the rest of the day because you laugh so much. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah. So these were pretty fun tearjerker movies. And let us know what you think. We really want to know if you think that our top 5 lists are amazing, genius, the best around, or if they're completely and totally full of poo-poo. We want to know either way. And you can share that delightful feedback with us, as we shared before, by leaving us a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcasts, or shoot us an email at hello@thetop5podcast.com. The inbox is awaiting your thoughts and ideas and feelings and all of the things.
Yes.
I
like all of the things.
I like all the things too. I especially like, I'm totally going into different. I especially like Women I Don't Know Very Well. That is from About Last Night. That is a movie that sometimes makes me cry.
Okay.
But mostly makes me laugh. And then there's Rob Lowe. Okay. For Annie Pruitt, I'm Chris McPeak. We will catch up with you again next time on the Top 5 Podcast. Adios. Oh shit. What just happened? Did I press stop? There we go.
It's recording.